Broadcasting live from steam vents on the plain of Ravnica. This is Tap Tap Concede. Welcome everybody to Tap Tap Concede. My name is Graham. Joining me this week is Cameron and Wheeler.
Steam vents.
Yeah.
Steamed vents?
I've never heard of the phrase steamed vents.
That's what we call them in upstate New York.
Really?
It's a 5th District expression.
May I see them?
Really? Because I'm from New Prov, and I don't think I've ever heard of the term steam vents.
Oh, no. This is a
Quick, name any location in Ravnica.
No.
Neuven. No, I'm just doing Jerry Lewis.
More of an Axebane expression.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. These districts are all wrong. Hey, everybody. We're going to be talking this week about what is forthcoming. We're talking about the year ahead of Magic the Gathering, what the stuff that they've announced, and stuff that we hope to see, and maybe hope not to see. Who knows? But what I am excited that we will be seeing is Friday nights, because we have our Kickstarter still ongoing at time of recording, though we have fully funded, and thank you so much for that. But if you want to get in on that, there is still time to do so, to get the exclusive playmat, or just throw a couple bucks because you want to see this sort of thing happen. We'll be producing that in late winter, early spring, and all the episodes from this season will be released within this calendar year, and we're very, very excited about it. And clearly some of you are too, so thank you for that. Tell your friends, spread the word. Also, this podcast is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Please check out cardkingdom.com/LRR if you want to buy some magic. Perhaps you will see some ideas that you wish to purchase during the course of this episode. And if you tell them loading ready run sent me button, please, they'll give you a little 1-inch button which says something funny. And I think we might still be on foil lands make foil mana, but I'm not sure. They have a bunch, so there's some new ones coming up. Also, of course, this show and everything we do is brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loading ready run. And we really appreciate it. 2024. Holy moly. Let me pull up the roadmap.
Already?
Love a roadmap.
Can I just say that the thing I love about being in the 2020s is it sounds like every year is a sequel to 2020.
Yeah.
Welcome to 2024. The year of Ravnica remastered.
Yeah. The year we lost to the whole.
Yeah. Finally. We're recording this on January 5th, so it's going to air on the 9th, meaning mere days away is the release of Ravnica Remastered. In fact, I think when you're hearing this, the forthcoming stream of the Friday Night Paper Fight is Ravnica Remastered Draft. Mm-hmm. They've gotten increasingly good at this, the remastered sets.
What definition of good?
I mean, I kind of enjoyed going and playing Cons of Tarkir and just getting stomped because I picked all the bad cards.
Yeah. I mean, I like nostalgia things too. But I mean, like, the draft environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything else.
What's the everything else? Like, I'm actually looking at this, maybe this is naive. I'm looking at this purely from, all right, they want to reprint a bunch of cards from, and they're going to do it as a draftable set. And I'm like, great. And they did Dominaria Remastered, and I was like, boy, this is fun to draft.
Yep.
Great job. And that's sort of where I stop interacting with it.
So I think these remastered sets suffer from larger issues that impact Magic as a whole, but they really shine the light on these like brief little windows because they used to be kind of reserved for like, hey, there's no set getting released. What if you drafted for fun, right? Like they would kind of fill that role. But there's just not really much breathing room in order to see, because Karlov Manor is coming out very soon.
In like a month.
Yeah.
It does feel for the last several years like this weird throwback set that's been released just at the start of January gets like just lost and forgotten almost immediately.
Exactly. It's in a weird time where you can't trickle out the previews because everybody's too busy with the holidays, and also just like trickling out previews for cards that already exist is not always the most exciting thing. And then like when they just dump the entire set in a day, it's like, oh, geez, okay. Cool.
I'm actually curious, Wheeler, or for all of you, honestly. What if they didn't preview these sets? What if they just told us they were doing Ravnica Remastered, and then it just came out, and we found out what was in it? Do you think that would be interesting? Do you think that would be fun?
That would be great. There's no real mystique behind opening cards anymore. And that's something for like, it understandably so, but like that's a really cool feature that I would like to see the new generation of Magic players get to experience, of cracking a pack.
Especially with a set like this, because it is all reprints. So it's all cards that already exist. So you may as well just be like, it's from Ravnica. It's from these sets. Find out.
Yeah. Also, price point obviously makes it a little awkward, where it's just like, the price point might lead to not a huge amount of product being opened or sold, and then it also tends to be this weird burden on like on the LGS kind of system of like, it's expensive it's a big gamble bringing this in, which also just like kind of hinges on whether or not your clientele is willing to themselves make a big gamble to try and get like a serialized card. I think that's what they're called.
What's
right?
in this set, actually?
Well,
Because I know that there are retro frame versions of previous cards. This is cards from the three previous Ravnica blocks. So, like Ravnica City of Guilds, Guild Pact and Dissension, Return to Ravnica, Gatecrash and Dragon's Maze, and then Ravnica Allegiance, Guilds of Ravnica. I may have got those two backwards, and War of the Spark. So it's cards from all of that in one set, some of which have a chance to also have retro frames, like the Shocklands. Yeah, like the Shocklands, and that's about all I know about this, honestly.
Yeah, it's a really cool. These sets are really cool when you get to draft them for a living, and you play Magic Online or Arena if they show up.
Just to be clear, this is a regularly priced set.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's good.
This is not a like $12 a booster.
Oh,
Like the collector boosters are obviously, like I'm looking at cardkingdom.com right now. $4.99 for a draft booster. $24.99, $23.99 for a collector booster, but forget those. We don't need to worry about those in the terms of getting to play. $180 for a draft booster box. So I think that's in line with like a normal standard set.
180 USD.
Yes.
That's more. God, I hope that's more.
Maybe that is a little bit more.
I think that's higher.
But the boosters, how much?
But the boosters are only $4.99, which is normal, which is a normal booster pack price. So
36 boosters.
Okay. Are boxes that expensive?
I think boxes are just that expensive now. We just don't live in the days when boxes were like $99 US. That doesn't exist anymore.
Have they previewed anything we can see? Like, I know that there's an image of one of the Shocklands with the retro frame.
The whole set
looks pretty
is
sick.
out.
Yeah, the whole set's been spent.
okay.
I remember seeing new art for Bob. Right.
New Bob art.
Let me show here. I'll
Very certain I saw new Bob art.
I'll pull up some big stuff. So you got stuff like this.
Oh, borderless Shocklands too. Oh, that's cool. Oh, is this finally? So years ago, they did. Can we see the Temple Garden? Because years ago they did a cycle. It is they did a cycle on MitGo.
Yes.
Of these, this art existed previously, but it was only available on Magic Online, and I was like, "Yo, this looks sweet," because it showed like the plane after War of the Spark,
Right,
sort of like rebuilding after War of the Spark, the most at that time the most recent invasion of the plane, and I was like, "These are so cool. When can we see these in paper?" So I'm glad that we finally get these in paper because these are awesome.
So then
Shocklands.
Then we also have the borderless anime cards.
You got to pick something more. Can you
More
put up
anime?
Divine Visitation?
Hold on. This is the greatest pack rack.
The pack. Yeah.
This is amazing.
It's this rules.
Pack
Yeah.
Rat's amazing.
But you want anime? This is anime.
Oh my God, this is gonna suck. This is weaponized. Like
Weaponized weeaboo nonsense.
I don't know. You take a mythic. Hey, your tokens are angels, and here's your large angel Dommy Mommy reaching out her hand, being like, "Come with me."
Right.
You are going to grab all the dollar bills from the sweatiest people in the world.
Are there matching tokens for this? There better be.
I don't see them here.
We'll find out.
That feels like unexplored territory.
right.
Anime token.
And then, of course, you have your old border stuff like Skewer of the Gods, which looks so
Oh
good.
man, Skewer actually looks
Skewer looks
amazing with the
incredible.
retro border. It's going back in time.
Yeah, you get stuff like Dreadbore.
Oh yeah, okay.
Who else we got here? Zagana. Sphinx's Revelation. That looks hot as hell.
I do love the old gold frames.
Yeah.
They're
and then,
so extra.
and then you get these are so there's the Shocklands for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to see an old border goblin electromancer, please.
Ooh.
Well, I think that already exists.
Does it? Okay.
From something.
There you go.
But yeah.
It's right there. There you go.
Can we go back to the Shockland?
The old border Shockland.
Yes.
Do you have a preference?
Hallowed Fountain.
Wabam.
This is composited. Rob Alexander drew inspiration for this from several I want to say there's bits of the Louvre in here and bits of L'Ermitage, and yeah, it's just a cool piece.
Yeah. So that's coming out almost immediately. What's up?
I don't like that you have an old border with the new templating where there's no reminder text that this adds white or blue.
Right.
Oh, right, because it inherently, as a plains
plains
island,
yes.
it taps for either blue or white.
Yeah.
But it doesn't actually say that anywhere.
Which they don't need to, on special versions of cards, they don't show that. They
Yeah.
don't have that line of text.
You can omit reminder text as desired. But it does look a bit weird that it's just like, what's this do? Well, it enters untapped if you pay 2 life.
Yeah, it's like
and
it's like committing half to the bit. You know?
yeah,
Yeah. But I mean that art on that border.
very cool.
There's the 4/4 angel token, right?
No, needs more weeb.
Is that the right token? It is just
Yes.
the 4/4 flying, not the 4/4.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you get. Sorry.
All right. So yeah, that's January 12th, and then less than a month after that is Murders at Karlov Manor. So back to Ravnica again for a new set. With someone was getting at me politely that I was talking in the last episode, actually, when we were going deep on the Murders at Karlov Manor previews, about how eventually we need to go back to Ravnica and have it not be, there's 10 new mechanics and it's focused on the guilds and everything, and we got to rip that Band-Aid off at some point. And someone was like, well, what was War of the Spark? And it's like, okay, yes, correct. You are correct that War of the Spark is a set that was on Ravnica and was not here's all the 10 guilds, but it was part of a block, kinda, that was, right? It followed immediately 2 normal Ravnica sets and still had a lot of that flavor to it. This is just, we're just going back to Ravnica. What's happening in Ravnica? Oh, some stuff. This is not like it's a full sort of whole thing. So I don't know. I guess depends on your interpretation, but I cede the point. I'm excited about this. Obviously, I'm personally very biased, but no, this looks exciting, and I'm very keen to see what the clue thing is like.
Lightning Helix and Standard
Yeah.
with Monastery Mentor.
I mean,
Oh boy, we're going.
that is a compelling series of words.
We're going back. That's what you're saying. All right.
And then I guess we could also very quickly point out that Murders at Karlov Manor will be the first appearance of play boosters.
Yes, that's a good point, which we talked about extensively when that whole announcement came out. And I mean, we're sort of like, everything sounds great, but the price. You can go back for a more nuanced reading of it in the episode where we talk about it.
Don't
but-
forget pissing on the history of the game.
Oh yeah.
There's also that.
Which part?
It's just like draft boosters being it's like draft boosters being like such an iconic way of playing and participating in the game, and being such a rich not reflection. What am I trying to say? You take something that is so integral to how people play this game and interact with this game and how it's built up over the years, and then you introduce a new product that pushes it out, and you're like, oh, well, I guess we're going to smush them together instead of maybe trying to find a balance. Like, it kind of stinks to lose draft boosters as draft boosters. I understand why it's happening. And like overall, it is probably going to be fine to positive for the experience, but it is another step in a series of steps of just like completely shifting away from a lot of the aspects of why people got into the game, which is natural, new game, new crowd of people, all that jazz, but still kind of stinks.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Have you seen anything that what do you make of the Clue thing? We don't know anything about it. Are you interested in that at all?
What?
The Clue tie-in? It's not just a reskinned version of Clue. It is
The game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This product offers a full multiplayer experience right out of the box. We don't know how it's going to play, but it's like Ravnica Clue Edition is not just Clue with magic art. It's a different. Did you ever play Explorers of Ixalan?
No.
Really?
No.
Oh, it was kind of fun. I liked it.
Okay.
It was a tabletop game that used magic and magic's rules and magic cards, but also there was this tabletop game aspect. So we don't know exactly what this Clue thing is going to be, but I'm curious to play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, now there's a magic card called Lead Pipe.
All right. Great.
And there's different other borderless shocklands
What?
in the Clue edition. So there's borderless shocklands in Ravnica Remastered, not in Murders at Karlov Manor, but there's new ones set in the house
Oh, that's
in the Clue edition.
it's a lot of shocklands.
It's a lot of shocklands. So that's neat. Q1, which I guess March, here we go. March 8th is the global release of the Fallout Commander decks. I, for one, am very excited. I don't think we've seen anything. They haven't. No, they have. They've spoiled a handful of cards from Fallout, yeah? It's like half a dozen that we talked about. They did a preview stream in December, I think,
Yeah.
and they showed off some of these.
Yep. And
Yeah.
we did an episode about them.
As a player of Magic the Gathering and a huge fan of the Fallout franchise, I am unabashedly very excited about this ridiculous thing.
Reasonable.
I don't know if anyone else cares. Nah.
I mean, I don't really fall out, but I'm happy for you.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
no,
I mean,
neat. Well, it's like, when they made the 40K decks,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
yeah.
So,
I just kind of hope the Fallout decks have the most revolting food tokens.
me too. They'd better.
It's possible to have, like just a rad roach turning on a spit made out of rebar.
You ever played any of the Fallout games, Wheeler?
I've tried. Didn't scratch my itch.
Fair.
Not enough dodge rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah. Neither iteration of Fallout is really that kind of vibe. Oh,
It's a Bethesda game, right?
well, the original ones were like a top-down isometric, like action point-based role-playing strategy
Right.
thing, and then the Bethesda ones are Bethesda games. Yes, I think you've accurately described them as Bethesda games.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even know that I can like full-throatedly recommend them.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan, but like, yeah, it depends on your tolerance for Bethesda games.
Somebody tells me to play New Vegas once a week. Basically every week.
So here's the thing: New Vegas has the best writing.
Okay.
Like it is generally considered by basically everybody to be the best written, with like the most interesting characters and the best like dialogue, and also like dialogue trees and choices that your character's skills can affect. Like if you have higher charisma or higher intelligence or things, you can sort of like talk your way through dialogue in a more interesting way that has gameplay ramifications. The gameplay is still just Bethesda. It's still they use the same engine.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if you got the tolerance for it, then that would be the one to play. But yeah. Hey, let's talk about the next full standard set that's coming out later this year. Outlaws of Thunder Junction. Ye and Ha? No? Anything? Cowboy magic?
Oh,
Anybody?
I'm so excited, but I'm also just internally just please don't screw it up. Please don't. Please, for the love of God. Ixalan being the slam dunk it was leads me to believe that they hopefully will take steps to make sure that this just isn't an absolute catastrophe of, you know, the whole cowboy theme is something that is there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I think I expect this to be a very safe version of something that evokes, or not evokes, uses the aesthetic of popular westerns to do something extremely inoffensive.
Yeah.
And I am expecting the discourse around it to be the most painful months I'll have to spend on the
Like-
internet.
Fingers crossed that at the, I don't even know if, God, it's just like if they I'm not even going to say it. It's just, I don't want to jinx it. Like if they're going to if they pick a theme to tackle that is potentially controversial within within that spectrum of the Wild West stuff, like make it something that, like you said, is very safe. Like,
I assume that there is going to be, you know what? I don't even know.
You're not interested. You're not interested in trying to see. You're not interested in seeing a Magic the Gathering set attempting to tackle Manifest Destiny.
Yeah, I don't want to have to think about like whether or not the like genocide archetype synergizes well with
Yeah.
whatever. It's just like
No. It's fine. We'll make the goblins into indigenous people. Yeah.
incredibly loud buzzer.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. And then the cowboys will be centered in red and green, or white and green, because reasons. And yeah.
So yeah, being that, as you said, being that Ixalan landed incredibly well.
Yes.
We can presume that none of these fears that we have will be founded, but there's always that worry.
Yeah, there is an abundance of themes or worlds that Magic has gone to or is planning to go to that are incredibly delicate, that at the time were not maybe handled the most delicately. And it's nice to see them, at least Ixalan shows that they are willing to take a wild number of steps to make sure that every little box is checked off and that there isn't room for screwing this up outside of the name being Ixalan.
Right.
But
Sort of stuck with that now.
yeah.
This is something I hadn't actually seen before, which is this little blurb here: Magic's first take on a Western genre, using a fantasy frontier setting to showcase new plane all about villains from across the multiverse.
Yeah.
Omen paths, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's like a bounty hunter kind of setting, like maybe
I just hadn't heard that aspect of it.
No,
and I'm like,
that was actually kind of novel to
I
me.
wonder who's going to show up.
Yeah. Well, we've seen Oko.
We presume this is
Assume
Oko.
it's Oko.
Yeah. And Vraska, perhaps? Because some kind of Gorgon.
I also
In
want to say
silhouette.
that it looked like Bob Nicholas,
It does.
but
yeah.
is there Cowboy Jace? Because that was a meme for a long time, like all the hooting and hollering over the Western set.
well, I assume if
Online.
Vraska is there.
Yeah.
I hope so. That'd be neat.
Yeah.
Anyway, we know precious little about it, but sure. Also in quarter 2, how do you feel about more Modern Horizons?
A different level of a different type of apprehension than the one with Thunder Junction.
So this is Modern Horizons 3. As far as I am aware,
Only 3?
yeah. Now this is coming to me from the perspective of memes, but I am sort of led to believe that the modern format could hypothetically be rebranded the Modern Horizons 2 format. in that set really just cracked that sucker wide open in a way that was possibly detrimental to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they figured out a way to rotate a non-rotating format is by
Printing more powerful cards.
these incredibly powerful cards. And like, I think the Horizons formats as a whole are a good, like overall what
Like
they
I love
bring to
drafting.
Magic.
I love drafting Modern Horizons and
Great
Modern
to
Horizons
draft.
2. Super fun to draft. And so I don't play Modern, and so it never approached my brain as a problematic thing. But then years later, I'm hearing about how Modern Horizons 2, I'm using air quotes here, ruined Modern.
Yeah, free spells in Magic the Gathering continue to be a bad idea.
Yeah, they should stop
And
making those.
please stop. Just,
Stop making them free.
cards that can find Black Lotus continue to be a bad idea in Urza's Saga. And 1 or 2 drops with like 3 separate lines of text, also maybe not the best. But overall, like the Horizons formats are good. It's just there's a method that Wizards takes that I actually don't hate, of just like very wild, like powerful swings. And that works in a way that out of 350 cards, you get 320 cards that really reinforce pre-existing archetypes, themes that are fun to play with, they're fun to draft, whatever. Then you get 10 cards that will destroy Magic the Gathering. And then they ban some of those. And as they start to ban some of them, the remaining cards of that 10 turn out to be very good but manageable, or manageable under certain environments, like Ragavan being okay for Modern but not for Legacy, Ren and 6 being okay for Modern but not for Legacy. Like that sounds, you would assume a higher power format, you're going to ban these cards in Modern, then they get banned in Legacy, etc. But that's just not how Magic works. And I think that's a reasonable approach to take.
I have zero perspective on this because I've never played Modern and I don't know what it's like. Like, is Modern okay right now? You if you don't know either, you don't have to speak on that.
No, let me tell you something about grief, Graham.
All right. This is the card grief, I assume.
Yeah, they made a ban recently where they banned Fury and Up the Beanstalk from Modern, which
That's so funny to me that they banned Up the Beanstalk.
yeah.
I mean, I know why. It's weird that it's like, oh, this is just an uncommon from Wilds of Eldraine.
Which is kind of cool because they've started to pump these like some power into the uncommon slot with like Beans and like Geological Appraiser from Rivals or Lost Caverns of Ixalan.
We're going to see more of that with play boosters.
Yeah. And I think that part's cool, but inevitably it leads to these engine cards sometimes being too pushed.
It's only 2 mana? Why did I think this was 3 mana?
This card's a catastrophe. It is hilarious, which again works well with free spells.
So as a reminder, Up the Beanstalk, for those keeping score, if you're not familiar, is 1 and a green for an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, you draw a card. So you play it on 2, it replaces itself, and then when you cast your big spells, you get to also replace them.
Yeah.
So what's the problem? It seems fine.
So there's a deck in Modern called Scam, or Rakdos Elementals Evoke, that utilizes the pitch elementals, Fury and Grief primarily, to great effect because 1, they're free spells, and 2, when combined with cards like Not Dead After All from Wilds of Eldraine, it allows them to take advantage of Evoke, causing them to sacrifice themselves, returning them to play immediately, and getting to double up on their enter the battlefield triggers, as well as getting to keep the body that is attached to a 4 mana or 5 mana card.
So, okay, so because they play it... So, right, Not Dead After All is a single black mana instant, which is whenever... until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature dies, you return to the battlefield under your control with a Wicked Roll token.
Yes.
Also tapped for whatever that's worth. So then Fury this is one of the ones... This is from Modern Horizons 2,
Yes.
right? This is one of the avatars,
The Incarnations.
Incarnations, that's what it is. Can we see Fury for a sec there, James?
Elemental Incarnation.
That's it. So 3 red for a 3/3 double strike. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 4 damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures and/or planeswalkers. And the evoke cost is exile a red card from your hand.
Right.
So you exile a red card from your hand, you play Fury for free. With that, with the Evoke on the stack, you not dead after all it dies, it comes back, so you get 8 damage to throw around
Yes.
for free, and it's you draw a card because of Up the Beanstalk. Yeah, okay, that's
Well, they weren't all played. I mean,
okay.
Fury and Beans were played together, but like
that's
the
messed up.
scam package. Yeah, and imagine this with Grief, a card that was not banned, which is a 3/2 Evoke Menace. ETB, look at your opponent's hand and rip a non-land card from it. So Thoughtseize. So imagine you are playing Modern and you have mulligan to 6 and you're on the draw and your opponent goes land, evoke Grief, not dead after all. You are now down to 4 cards in hand and there's a 4/3 Menace in play. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun. Good luck, have fun.
Your go.
So they banned Fury and Beanstalk. Beanstalk was going to go anyways, but Fury, because it supposedly pushes cheap creature decks out of the format,
Sure.
which it does. However, there are other things that do that, like Orcish Bowmasters. Black being one of the best things you can do in Modern, because Orcish Bowmasters pushes creature decks out of the format, synergizes pretty well with the Not Dead After All cards, because it has an ETB, as well as it's pretty good that you rip your opponent's hand with Grief, and then you restrict the tools that they have to climb back into the game, throw their card draw, or if they're like, well, at least I have my cheap spells that I can draw and do something, and then they just get killed by the Bowmasters. So it didn't really solve anything. Very funny that one of the larger Modern tournaments immediately after the ban was won by Scam. It's just like, oh, okay.
Well, I guess we didn't solve anything.
Yeah. So yeah,
So excited for Modern Horizons 3 then?
I am, but also yeah, I hope that they have learned like some of the ways to tone it down just a little bit. Just a bit.
I think the clear solution is a blue evoke creature that where the cost is, exile a blue card from your hand, and when it enters the battlefield, counter target spell or activated ability.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, Cameron. Congratulations, you have solved Modern.
Yes, I'm a genius.
They're also bringing MH3 to Arena.
Really?
Yes.
Huh. Well, that will allow me to draft it a lot more than the other ones.
Yeah. And
You see Kaladesh Remastered is back on Premier Draft right now?
no.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's fun.
I do like Kaladesh.
It's honestly, Kaladesh Remastered is a lot of fun. So for a few days there was Lost Caverns and Khans and Kaladesh Remastered. Khans is now rotated off. But by the way, Lost Caverns of Ixalan is a super fun format. It's honestly just really good to draft. I like it a lot.
I only got like 5 drafts in, and then I just stopped because there's Vintage Cube to play. But is Spyglass Siren really good?
Yeah, all the one drops are good.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. That explains the format. That's what I need to know.
Oh yeah,
The one drops are good.
Yeah, there's the one drop. There's 2 different one drop white flyers.
Right, the bat and the miner's bird.
The bird. Yeah, and then there's a one drop pirate that's like a 1/1 when it dies you scry and make a treasure. That one's great. There's a wannabe Goblin Guide. It's not Goblin Guide, but it's a 1-mana 1/2, but it gets +1/+0 if you control an artifact.
Yeah,
Or it gets 1/+0 and haste if you control an artifact. So, that one's good. It in the right deck, but it's also a pirate, which is relevant in those colors. So yeah, no, the 1-drops are good. But the thing is, the expensive cards are good too. It's surprisingly balanced.
Cool.
Yeah, no, I dig it. All right, I don't know what to make of this, but coming up in July is Assassin's Creed Universes Beyond.
Yeah.
Let me read you this. The July 2024 Universes Beyond offering will be the first to have Beyond boosters. These boosters are not draftable packs that take you on a journey unique to its universe. There will be new cards and reprints featuring favorite characters and moments from all the Assassin's Creed video games. The cards will be legal in Modern.
It's nice that they're introducing plant-based boosters.
Next, impossible boosters.
Yeah.
You can't open them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's because we're not doing command. It's not a full set like Lord of the Rings. It's not commander decks like Fallout. It's just magic cards that are Assassin's Creed.
It's just we had a deal with Ubisoft, and this is what we came up with.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not enough in here for 4 commander decks. So
Yeah. This is also, it's the time of year where in 2023 we had Aftermath. But this doesn't sound like Aftermath. Potentially they revisited how much of the drawing board they could, considering their timelines.
yeah, I would assume that maybe 1 year is not a whole lot of time in order to look at Aftermath and go, ugh, and rebuild something. But hopefully,
I mean, hey, I played the original Assassin's Creed games, like the first couple, and Black Flag are fun games. I'm not like, oh, sick. Can't wait to cast my Ezio Auditore, but I'm like, yeah, all right.
Who are you going to pick as your commander? Ronald Reagan or Louis XIV?
well,
Can I rule 0 them together?
They're partners.
does Ronald Reagan destroy walls? I don't know. Like,
He's just a well of lost dreams on legs and
yeah,
destroys
exactly.
walls.
Yeah, and then he invades Grenada.
Don't worry, the card advantage will trickle down.
And
it never does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or introduces a new mechanic where when you play him in Commander, the play order reverses and goes to the right.
Talking about trickle down, it's like he would absolutely be the one to be like, well, it's fair because it's symmetrical.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
damn it. You everybody's drawing cards off Wheel of Fortune. We all win. Now, of course, my Nekasar is going to trigger.
I also have to discard. Anyway, Assassin's Creed is a thing that is occurring, and we all feel very middlingly about that, I guess.
Very
Ronald
weird.
Reagan, when he enters the battlefield, you get mutually assured destruction, where you exchange. Every player begins sacrificing things.
Like, I don't need to rehash how I feel about Universes Beyond as a whole, but at least I feel something over other Universes Beyond product.
Yeah, I was going to say, saying that we feel middlingly about it is actually like both. It's wrong in both good and bad ways. Really, we feel neutrally about the Assassin's Creed one. Is like I don't think any of the three of us here are sort of like okay,
Yeah,
right? Am I wrong? Like
I think I feel nothing about this.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like oh, all right,
Yeah.
sure, go for it. I guess.
I will be mad if there's a card in there that just like warps like Vintage and Legacy.
I can't
that
wait for the
have to
North
pay.
100 review.
Yeah, Ezio is now a mandatory 4 of in humans.
I mean, if you're not running the Magna Carta in every deck.
Oh my god.
All right. Quarter 3, though, I'm super excited about Bloomborough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, this seems like a really cool, inventive format. Or environment? No, plane. I love it.
Yeah. No, it's I'm very excited about Bloomborough. It's I mean it's Redwall, it's Mouse Guard, right?
That's all I've ever wanted.
It's the only thing we've seen in the key art is there's a tiny mouse with a cape and a sword.
Yep.
And it's like sick. I'm in. All my chips on.
The only thing I really want out of this is a collection of rabbit creatures that just lose to vehicles.
Jesus.
Just lose to vehicles in every possible format. In fact, if we could get a set immediately after this where you can get a combine harvester.
No, stop. Your UVic is showing. Oh, my poor bunnies.
Look, they all went to a bunny ranch. in
Oh, okay,
Texas.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, Texas. Well, I can taxation.
So this article also notes that the Bloomborough starts the second year of the Dragonstorm arc, which I guess is the story arc that we're in currently.
Cost 9 mana. Takes a while to build up to.
So I guess that's whatever Kellen's up to.
I guess.
Dragonstorm art.
I don't know where they got this.
What's Ugin been up to for the last 6 years?
This is from Star City, and presumably they're getting this from the Wizard stream that I thought I watched, but I don't remember this.
Huh.
Okay.
And then later in the year, oh sorry,
I also just want a lot of little like mouse and small mammal themed creatures. Themed creatures with tiny hands.
mm-hmm.
Because I
little grabbies,
little grabbies.
Yeah.
Give me all the little grabbies. Maybe they can hold a seed.
Sounds great.
I'm just looking at the MTG fandom page here for the Dragonstorm arc. It is the 1-year storyline that will follow the Omen Path arc, which I think is what we're currently on, which is basically the aftermath of the Phyrexian invasion.
Okay.
And so Bloomborough is the start of the Dragonstorm arc, which will be a year-long arc of, I don't know. I don't think they've really said. They've just named it a thing.
That will end in 4 Bogadin Hellkite triggers. I'm just going to milk this for all the 30-year-olds in the audience.
And they're all part of the Metronome story arc that is a 3-year arc.
Now you're making things up, James.
So it's the Omen Path arc, Dragonstorm arc, an unnamed arc, all 3 of which make up the Metronome story arc.
I didn't know about any of this.
It did just enter public domain, so maybe we'll get the Jonov arc.
Wow.
Topical.
Yeah,
Amazing.
man, dryer.
And then, at the end of the year, Duskmorn, House of Horror. This sounds very interesting. What?
No, isn't it Dreyfus, director of Joan of Arc?
Oh.
Passion of Joan of Arc?
Oh no. Oh no, I'm a fake fan.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. But yeah,
Duskmorn.
Duskmorn. I am really curious to see how horror gets handled in Magic the Gathering because
So yeah, this is like 70s and 80s pop horror. This is not
like give me
like,
Phantasm.
Yeah, this is not Innistrad. Innistrad's gothic horror.
Yeah.
This is what I find interesting about it is that apparently this set, the whole thing is within a house. Like the whole thing is in one presumably time and space bending haunted mansion, essentially. That sounds really neat.
Yeah. Awesome. Give me a big old haunted house that warps time and space. I fully expect to see Black Christmas themed cards. Give me a Black Christmas Secret Lair, in fact. The phone call is coming from inside the house.
This is actually kind of cool. Mark, like Rosewater, has actually stated that they will not address outside of the house.
Cool.
There is no outside of the house. They will never discuss outside of the house. It's just the house.
No, I'm already
sweet.
amped for this.
Yeah.
I am so ready for this to wipe away the crushing disappointment of Bloomborough.
Oh, come on.
If there's
Bloomborough discourse.
if there's fewer grabbies than you had originally hoped, then at least Duskmorn is there at the end of the year.
Yep.
What's up?
I was trying to think of what Cameron's beef with Bloomborough is going to be.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just extrapolating into the future that at some point there will be the world's worst discourse on Bloomborough.
Oh, yeah. No,
I don't know how, because it seems incredibly innocuous, but that is setting off alarm bells.
I can think of a couple ways that I shouldn't repeat on this podcast.
Cool. Yeah. Now, have they announced, because I don't see anything here, any, like, I don't think there's a 2024 Commander product.
Isn't it Final Fantasy?
That's 20.
No, and it's a set.
2025.
There's probably Commander decks as well.
Right.
But, like, we've got all the standard sets that we just talked about, and presumably there's Commander decks with them, and there's the Fallout set, but there's no standalone Commander product that we're aware of.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, at the moment there is nothing. So it looks like there will be 5 sets of Commander decks if we assume that each of the 4 standard decks and Fallout comes with Commander decks.
Yeah. Okay.
And then presumably there'll be 2 to 4 because that's generally where they land, or 2 or 4 per standard set.
Do you think they're going to do Commander decks with Modern Horizons? Probably not.
Probably not. I don't think they have in the past, have they?
No.
No, I don't see that happening.
Maybe they're going to let that particular milk cow cool down to a nice, even red hot.
It would be very funny because there was the people that were actually saying, I can't remember if it was 2 or 1. I think it was Modern Horizons 2, when people are saying this is like Commander Horizons. And just in hindsight.
Now, here's an interesting thing that they also announced recently, which relates to, because you mentioned secret layers. So the way that they operate secret layers now is print on demand. So they're open for a window of time, and then people order them, and then they print however many they want, and then they ship those out. And the upside is that you can get them as long as you order within the month that they give you. And the downside is you're waiting for 7 months to get your secret layer. They take a long time. And so what they've said is that now they're actually moving away from that model, and they're going to have everything printed ahead of time. And so hypothetically, secret layers could now sell out, which
I don't think this is a great solution. I mean, sure, it's a problem that people are waiting for their secret layers for a long time. That's no fun. But every time Games Workshop does this a lot, where they're like, "Hey, we've spent the last 6 months backing up our supply chain in order to produce a certain number of these boxes, and they're going online or for sale online at 10 a.m. On this Saturday, and they're sold out, and they're on eBay." All right. Problem solved, everyone.
I assume that after so many years of doing it, that they have the data to roughly estimate with pretty good accuracy how many they're going to need. Mm-hmm. But as you say, now that there is a limited factor, there's a degree of FOMO, which I hate.
Yeah.
And there is that danger that it's just retailers are like, okay, cool, I'll buy several thousand. Here we go. I don't know. I
assume, have they said that there's going to be max number of sales per order?
They didn't specify. They probably don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that that's necessarily true.
Well,
I think
they
a lot
care in as far as obviously that people will complain, and they do care. I'm not saying Wizards doesn't care at all about customer satisfaction. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying so much of it's opaque that we have no idea. It could be that it all goes to people that want it, and vendors buy 10 or 20 or something, or it could be that vendors buy 500, and who knows? I don't know. I don't love it. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. This was just announced a couple days ago. No.
Secrets, not my jam.
I kind of like some of the secret layers.
I like
those are the ones that I tend to buy. The Junji Ito one, that was cool. Yeah. I loved it. I love the Metal Gear Solid one.
Oh my god.
The others I can take or leave, but other people seem to feel fondly about them, and that's fine. There are aesthetic choices. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of limited editions of things. Mm-hmm. I recognize that this is a solution to a problem. I think this is going to cause new problems, and maybe they'll go back to the old model of doing things.
Now, do we think we're going to see a bunch of stuff more than are on this roadmap? Do we think that there's other stuff that they haven't announced yet that's going to be coming out? We were talking before we came online that Mark Rosewater recently made a post on his Tumblr that was basically in a way that is sort of making it clear without saying it that he's been saying people don't like how much products there are. He basically said look, this is information I have been passing on, that you all have been giving me the feedback that there's too much stuff. Mm-hmm. With the subtext of, and the people I'm telling probably don't care, right? I'm not saying that that's what Mark is saying. My subtext that I'm deciding to read to that is that the decision makers are probably not going to care. But, Mark's been apparently dutifully passing on the information that however many thousands of people are interacting with his Tumblr post and saying that that it's too much to keep track of.
Slow down a little bit.
Yeah, pump the brakes.
Yeah, pump the brakes a little bit. I would assume that he can and will bring those posts, those replies, to his superiors
this
in the corporate world, and they will probably reply with, it's still selling.
Yep.
So I think the only way that we see a reduction in the rate of releases, if, that's something we don't like, I don't necessarily like it. It makes me feel overwhelmed and anxious, is to not buy them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I
I
should
think
say that this roadmap only has the first 3 quarters, even though Duskmorn is technically the 4th quarter, so I don't know exactly what's up.
There's
with
got
that.
to be
Yeah.
some secrets.
And I would expect there's going to be unannounced things that they will be able to reveal to us at some point. But just to go back to if you don't like it, don't buy it. That's probably also problematic, as we have seen. They will probably just lay people off if sales drop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's difficult to tackle this without just, tackling all the poisonous tendrils that come with capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Which, dismantle that, comrade. But,
Well, hey, the great thing about capitalism is that nothing sustainable lasts forever. Unsustainable things end.
yeah, that's true.
All right, well, fair enough. We've been on a weird tear on Tap Tap Concede recently. I'm here for it, to be clear. I'm just
Yeah.
all right. I still like playing Magic, though.
Yeah,
I like the game.
I know.
I like the game. I like how the cards feel in my hand. I like the noises they make. I like thinking through lines of play, and I like the people I get to hang out with as a result of this game.
Mm-hmm.
I, for a little while, even enjoyed playing Modern when Gifts Storm was a thing, because I thought that was a cool deck. I liked playing Highlander in the before times occasionally, and I do really enjoy playing limited Magic when I can find somewhere where people wear masks, i.e. on Arena. I can just pretend.
Yeah, why not?
But man, this game, it makes me tired sometimes too.
Yeah. I've been playing more Magic recently than I have for basically the past year. Maybe even for most of the pandemic. I've been playing a lot of Magic, like in my spare time as well. And I've been spending record low amount of money on Magic because, like you said, there's just too much of it.
Yeah.
And my answer is just like, I'm just not going to buy it.
I look at the release schedule and I think of 2 or 3 releases that interest me and pique my curiosity and I think look creative and interesting, like Bloomborough and Duskmorn. I think those look cool. I will probably play a lot of those if they turn out to be fun formats to play, which, for the last several years, WotC has been very good at turning out good limited formats. But everything else just makes me feel overwhelmed and tired. And frequently being on the internet just makes me extremely sad.
That's also true for me, but it's less to do about Magic. And just there's lots of
Yeah.
stuff on the internet that makes me sad.
Yeah, no, it's
Hopefully we're not part of what makes you sad on the internet. He said, desperately trying to figure out a clean way to segue this to the end of the episode.
yeah, dig up.
Would you like to play a very quick game I have just made up?
I would love to, James.
Sure.
Great, because it segues to our sponsor, Card
Right.
Kingdom.
Oh, God.
Oh,
cardkingdom.com/LRR. They posted a 2023 year in review in which they have shown what their best-selling commons, uncommons, rares, and mythics are.
Ooh.
And I'm curious if you can correctly guess the number one selling common, uncommon, rare, and mythic. So we're going to start at common, and I'm going to give you a hint. This is not a card that came out this year, but it is a card that has come out in the previous handful of years, and it is a land. That is your hint.
it's a land that was released in the last couple of years, but not this year.
What's the blue land from Eldraine?
Mystic Sanctuary?
Yeah. No, that's probably just like a...
My guess is it's a commander related.
It's got to be Command Tower, right? That's been it.
Command Tower is over a decade old.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's like 2011 or something.
To keep this game short, do you want another hint?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Go back to what Cameron was talking about a half a second ago.
Is it Witch's Cottage?
No, it's exactly what Cameron said it was.
Oh, okay.
Wait, this
It's Mystic Sanctuary.
Oh, this doesn't
card's 4 years old, James.
I said handful of years.
Handful. Wait,
That's fine.
okay.
That's what I said. Handful of years.
Not in the last year. So within 3 years prior, that's
I don't know. When I'm picturing how many years I can hold in my hand, I think like 3.
All I want to do is return this to my hand with Demir Aqueduct.
Oh yeah.
All right, next up, and I'm going to get the better version of the card here. This is the uncommon, and I'll give you a hint here for the last 3. They are all from this year, and they are
Beanstalk.
all from the same set.
It's got to
Beanstalk.
be up the beanstalk, right?
No, it is not up the beanstalk. It is a black card.
Infernal Grasp.
Nope.
Bitter Triumph.
Uh-uh.
Black Uncommon.
It casts for 1 and a black, and it's an instant.
Bitter Triumph. Infernal Grasp.
No. You lose.
Uncommon. Shieldred's Edict?
Shieldred's
Oh,
Edict?
it's Shieldred's Edict.
Oh,
Okay, great.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, this card rules.
Oh, each opponent.
Yeah.
Good one.
All right, moving on to the rare.
So that means this rare is also from Phyrexia.
So and the mythic, all 3 from.
I know the Mythic.
So it's not Shieldred then. If it's from Phyrexia, all will be 1.
No, Shelter was
A rare from Phyrexia all will be 1?
Skrelv.
Which one?
Skrelv?
Skrelv.
What's the color?
Oh, the hive.
Skrelv's Hive. Okay.
Really?
Oh, it's close.
You're very close.
It's like it's a new Bitter Blossom, obviously, kind of, but not.
All right, Wheeler.
going.
Do you know what the mythic is?
I mean, I assume it's Atraxa Grand Unifier. And if it's not that, it's Elish Norn,
it's
Mother of Machines.
It's neither of those.
Well, then there's no accounting for taste. This is,
It's got to be Commander players, right?
what he said.
it's Mondrak.
He said no accounting for taste.
There you go.
Yeah, it's Mondrak.
It is Mondrak.
Oh,
You said Commander players and no taste, and so I assume, yeah, there you go.
Wait, I didn't say no taste. I think that was just implicit.
what? This was making my joke again. God damn it. Mondrak. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
That
Fair, fair enough.
Card's like $40. 50, probably 50 CAD.
Excuse me a moment.
What was
Mondrak is $39.99 over on cardkingdom.com.
Cardkingdom.com/LRR. Go buy your Mondraks there. There. Sponsor this show. Thank you. Card Kingdom. What's up, Cameron?
Oh, no, I was just going to have a completely unsubstantiated non sequitur with things like, hey, has anyone seen the discourse around this? I don't remember anything about it and can only describe it in the barest sketch.
Oh,
Anyway,
that Elish
goodbye.
Norn?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
This show is also brought to you by you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, and we really do appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, until next time, I've been Graham, joined by Cameron and Wheeler.
Thank you for having me, Graham. It was great to be here.
Always a blast. James has been on tech. Heather gets these online. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.